Oh no.
Yes, that was a slower can opening
Well,
there.
there was a mishap. Look, I opened it, but it didn't open.
It didn't open. I have to. This
There
is
we
two
go.
roads, right? We love two roads. We do. We love them.
There
But
was a
when you open a non-hill can, it can't wait for you to open it. It's like filled to the tippy top,
I know.
right?
Dying to get out.
Just flying on out of there. Oh my goodness. Chris, how are you doing with this cold weather, sir?
Oh, well, it's winter, so it's just cold, and I basically stay indoors most of the time, and I'm okay. But yeah, it's
Right.
cold. It's been
It
cold, and
is.
then it's gonna snow and rain tonight. It's gonna be nasty.
Yeah, it's gonna be nasty.
Okay.
Hey, Phillip J. Curtis, aka Midnight, is in the chat. Hey,
Oh,
Phillip. Well, and we owe a lot to our friend Midnight, who introduced us to many of the fine poets who are reading tonight. We're super excited. We'll give our official welcome at 7, but we have so many incredible poets who are regulars that put it in the chat, at the Nuyo, and several online venues. And in-person venues, and we're just so excited that we get to hear from them tonight and get to see their brand new books from Red or Green Books. It's going to be awesome. So anyways, but before we get into that, Chris, what are you drinking from Two Roads tonight? This could be sponsored. Little Heaven. A crushable IPA.
It's a little piece of heaven. That's what it is.
A little piece of heaven. Would you say that this IPA is truly crushable? Could I crush this IPA, being not a big IPA fan, Chris?
Well, you could crush this.
I sure could. Strong. Look at this. All right, just like you can't even see it, even if I flex it.
and then you crush it like this a little bit.
Yeah.
Very crushable.
Very nice. I was telling Chris on Friday that I watched an hour-long documentary on YouTube about every different type of beer because I want to know. I really am only in the land of crushable, like bloggers and pilsners, which some people might think is lame, but I think it's delicious. Hi, Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad are out there. Our friends, our fans, our family joining the chat right now, joining us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Fabulous. Phillip J. Curtis says, thanks to Lona, Chris, and Katie. Well, we love you guys. Lona, we love you, Phillip. When from the first time I attended Midnight's Put It in the Chat, I got to hear from Nick P, who we're hearing tonight, Generalissimo. Also, I believe from the very first time I heard Roz here as well. And it was pretty, it was totally awesome. And it's such a pleasure that we get to be so connected and have this great community and invite them to read tonight and share their books with us. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome.
Phillip reminds us he was the first performance poet on our program, and
he was, I think.
He opened the door.
Indeed, he did. I believe that's true. That's correct. And
what were you going to say about you were going to say something
through him.
You were going to say something about your earrings.
Oh yeah, well, that is far less important than our incredible, wonderful friendship.
I don't know.
And the performance poet community. But these are fabulous resin earrings from My Kawaii Moon. Just advertising. Yes, they're just really glowing tonight. So, Chris, where are your earrings?
My one hole filled up over here.
Oh, you had one? Yeah.
Of course, I was a kid back in the.
You were an earring dude.
It became like the thing to do.
I love it.
You put on a one of those hanky things on your head, and you walked around like a pirate.
Oh, you mean a bandana?
Bandana.
Hanky? Chris.
Back in the day, we called them hankies. That was
You
the
know,
thing.
it's okay. It's okay.
And,
That's funny.
that's
Well,
right. Looking for hanky panky with the hanky.
whoa. Well, our friend Brenda is in the chat. She is looking forward to some poetry. Well, Brenda, you are in for a treat because this is FUMFA 79. And these, we're presenting tonight the next 10 poets from Red or Green Books. All of the poets you're going to hear tonight have recently published books by Red or Green Books. They are incredibly active. In various readings, especially performance poetry readings at various venues. And, their bios will blow you away. Their poetry and readings tonight will blow you away. And, you can just go and buy those books if you want to hear more of that. You can follow them on social media if you would like to hear and see them read and perform more. And they will be in the chat, hopefully interacting with you as well before and after their readings. So it's going to be just a fabulous and very, very exciting night. Let me share their names with you tonight. We are going to have Generalissimo, Brian Franco, Miro, Nick Paleologos, Gigi, Phillip Boykin, Tori Lutz, Emily Cordes, Raz Diaz, and Ashley Edwards. We were also supposed to have Pam Rice tonight, but she is not feeling well. So send her your thoughts and prayers, hoping that she'll feel better. Perhaps she'll even join us in the chat if she's feeling all right. But I know that she's a bit under the weather. So we'll send positive thoughts her way. And we're just very excited to hear from our poet soon. But Chris, before we get started tonight, tell us what's coming up in the next few weeks.
All right, we got some groovy stuff. We got some FUMFA folks and some special guests. Next week, Ellen Gelman, along with Janet Luongo. The week after that, Ana Maria Spagna with Emily Dillon. The week after that, Patricia Dunn and Monica Ong. And then that brings us to Valentine's Day and Romance Night.
We're very excited about that. If you would like to read, please reach out to us.
It's right. If you have a romantic poem or brief story, essay, please reach out to us. We'll feature you on Romance Night.
Yes, we are very excited about this. Last year, we had some spicy readings.
Last year, it got very, very...
It got steamy.
It got steamy in here. I had to, cool off. I did get like a wet... And just,
and I feel like we should have a little showdown. Maybe if Midnight and Susan M. Davis want to join us again, we can see who can get things steamier in here.
I don't.
You shouldn't dare them.
You might get kicked off of the internet.
It might get too steamy. Susan just said in the chat. She is there. She said, I'll read for Romance Night. Lipstick. Okay. Yes. Congratulations, Susan. Lipstick Lesbian is now out. The cover art is incredible. And I think we've heard a few of those pieces before. Excited to hear more, Susan. We will be in touch. Would so love to have you. Midnight says Susan bought the spice. You did too, Midnight.
I don't know, Midnight. I think you did too. We could have a spice off.
A spice off. I think we should let's make that happen, Chris. Let's make that happen. Oh, that is too funny. Oh, very nice. We have so many great friends, fans, family members joining us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Just a reminder, we want everyone to watch live. That's the best. But these live streams are also archived on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So if you would like to watch later or share with someone later, you can do that. So we are thrilled to be able to have that as well. But without further ado, we are going to get started with our readings tonight. This is FUMFA 79 with the next 10 poets from Red or Green Books. And our first poet is Generalissimo Brian Franco. Generalissimo, where are ya? Generalissimo.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
We just threw you out there.
Well, this StreamYard thing is I've done it before. It's always confusing for me. So excuse me.
Oh, well, Generalissimo, we are so thankful to you because something we haven't said yet is that this whole fabulous show is happening because you helped to organize and connect us with all of these amazing people from your publisher, Evergreen Books. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And we have to say thank you to Marissa Prado, who runs Evergreen
Yes.
Books. And
Yes.
and tries and has created her publishing house in this past year to get people with their debut books, and everyone
Love
here
it.
is their first book. And I'll go ahead and start.
Generalissimo, let us read your bio, and then we'll real
You
quick before you get started.
Okay, you don't have to go through everything that I've been every single thing, because I know there's a lot there. So.
Oh, well, you know, we'll bring you. We'll Generalissimo Brian Franco lives in Brunswick, Maine. He likes writing poetry and reading it to anyone who'll listen. He has been writing poetry since the mid-1990s. He was a member of the Portland, Maine Rhythmic Cipher Slam team that competed in the 2014 National Poetry Slam in Oakland, California. He is also a painter, sculptor, gardener, and culinary genius. I love it. We're looking forward to hearing you, Generalissimo.
Oh, okay. That was an old bio. Okay, great. So I'm going to just start and read the introduction to my book so that you know what it's about. Everything I think is all in my mind is the culmination of 30 years of writing. Do you see me right now? Because I don't see me.
Yes, we can see you, Generalissimo.
Okay.
You should be able to see yourself.
Okay. This is the culmination of nearly 30 years of writing. It discusses my decades-long battle with chemical depression and anxiety. The collection also covers human emotions and behaviors like anger, confusion, forgiveness, kindness, bullying, and gaslighting. We are all made of blood, skin, and bones. There is no such thing as a perfect person. Our faults and the faults of the people we love exist and are part of the package we accept when we enter relationships with each other. My poetry can be serious, silly, and even surreal, but I hope straightforward and accessible. I believe poetry can be communication and artistic expression at the same time. The human mind is a place that makes decisions and guides emotions, and all of us have one to use as we wish. My first page is called A Slew of Haiku. It's 6 haikus. The last 2 haikus have titles. 1. The meaning of life is not about breathing, but deciding to breathe. 2. Cynicism is an acquired attitude. No one is born that way. 3. Optimism is more than just an idea. It can be a mantra. 4. Embrace your crazy. Who you are is who you are. You are human. 5. Figurative life best for sale. When it rains and rains, my mind sends me to places perfect for drowning. 6. The worms can't do all the work. Teach a man to fish, and he might not have patience to wait for a fish. The next piece is called The Cover Man Cometh. I am a champion cyclist. Not bicycles, emotions. I do it all. Ups, downs, inside outs, round and rounds, hills, valleys, twists, turns, loop-de-loops, and half pipes. I actually bore a hole through a solid granite mountain to create a shortcut I used only once. Yes, I am a champion cyclist. My face has been on the cover of Psychology Today thrice. For the 3 times I have won the Tour de France by simply writing out anxieties. And the next poem I'm going to do is called Why I Keep a Midwife on Speed Dial. Anger does not always happen as screaming, yelling, stomping of feet, fist clenching, teeth gritting, furrowed brows, tattered nerves. Anger is not always born of aggression. It can be born of hurt and confusion, from a womb unaware of the existence of its pregnancy, conceived via an act of deception or betrayal, from a night of passion that materialized into a morning after that transformed into an insidious, compartmentalized ghost. Anger is not always loud. Anger can exist in silence and stagnation. Anger may not have hard edges that cut and bruise all who come in contact with it. It can be soft. It can be amorphous. made of quicksand, encompassing its host in suspended animation, causing phantom paralysis till whoever owns it realizes the phantom is a phantom, a figment of an emotion or a feeling or a reaction to a life event or events that happened in the past. That is exactly what it is, the past, which can't exist in the present or future due to the fact that the past can only exist in the past. Then the anger starts to shed its skin, to reveal a hollow inside that is a breath long held, now exhaled and let go. Your smile never ceases to exist as part of who you are. Remember way back when your smile was your calling card, when you smiled for more than happy, when you smiled when you were embarrassed, when you smiled through a lie, when you liked to smile, when you used your teeth for more than chewing. Remember when you were always on, then you wanted to dim the lights a little. Attention felt like unattainable, high expectations. Then you reverted back to wallflower. You were on vacation when you were present and no one knew but you. Silence was a place of comfort. Then you crossed a threshold when people started ending sentences in conversations with you with question marks that would not have question marks in writing. Then you stopped going barefoot around family due to the myriad broken eggshells they left on the ground because it became mandatory to walk on eggshells around you. You felt hobbled by the unwritten rule that everyone else was allowed to stand up for themselves, but you must sit in the corner like Dennis the Menace as punishment for breathing. But when you breathed, you existed. Sometimes the act of existence is a form of standing up for yourself even if you are unaware. Unwritten rules are unwritten and thusly incapable of being set in stone. The only things that are truly set in stone is that every human being is composed of blood, skin, and bones, and every single person decides how to use their teeth. And they call me Hurricane Brain. All my nerves are last nerves. Finality exists as faulty serotonin snipers missing targets, trying to hit bullseyes. They attempt to cross the bridge, but the bridge was cut open by a Category 5 hurricane now sitting broken in Mobile Bay with a 1/8 mile gap, concrete, asphalt, and rebar at the bottom of the bay where crabs used to crawl. The engineers must decide whether it is feasible to repair rather than replace, but according to the science of bridge architecture, once a bridge breaks, no Band-Aids or plaster cats can put Humpty Dumpty back together again. Pills are but a tool in an intricate toolbox serving as Band-Aids for broken bridges where serotonin tries to connect us to happiness, but can't always curtail the most common disease in the world, which consists of last nerves with finality. Okay. How to turn your home into an indoor amusement park. When dizzy happens, you might sit or lie down to stop the room from spinning, but when life continues to spin out of control, everything seems to be everything that seems to be on a forward trajectory can act as a doorstop for everything else. Your overwhelmedness becomes a tumor hidden beneath your skin no one knows about unless they touch you. But you've successfully blocked touch by allowing unlimited Reiki while denying fingertip access with a level of deftness that has them avowing how smooth your skin is. The fog released from the breath of your words is a barrier that blocks their sense of touch from knowing it. It has not achieved touching. You can be as disoriented as possible while tricking the world. Your life is an Olympic perfect 10 balance beam routine because the gymnast on the beam is a hired ringer with your face temporarily tattooed to theirs. Every room in your house is a different dizzying ride. Playground roundabout, spinning teacups, tilt-a-whirl, G-force astronaut training exercise. You think if you practice enough, you'll become dizzy tolerant. But when you're punch drunk dizzy more often than not, your tolerance will only be visible in the funhouse mirror you use while shaving away yesterday's bad decisions every new today in which you find yourself existing. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Generalissimo. Awesome, powerful stuff. Thank you.
Great way to start the night.
Awesome way to start the night. You got to go see your comments in the various chats across our social media. Just awesome stuff. Thank you, Generalissimo.
Thank you.
Thank you for helping us put this together.
Yes, thank you.
Man.
All right, and we are moving on to our next poet. Thank you for starting us off, Generalissimo. We are here to welcome Miro. Hey, Miro.
Hi, good evening. How's
Yeah.
everybody?
Good evening. We are so excited to have you and so excited to hear you. Chris is going to go ahead and read your bio.
I am indeed. Moreau is a poet with too many interests. She was the lead editor of the Love Letters to Gaia anthology, which since its release in April 2021 has raised nearly $1,000 for 350.org. Miro has also had work published in Sledgehammer, Lit Mag, the Blood Moon Journal, and Space City Underground. Her debut poetry collection, Ebb and Flow, is out now. Miro lives on Staten Island in a house full of plants and art and cats and friends.
I love that line of your bio.
Thank you. Well, this home on Staten Island is actually like my 30th address. I'm 30 years old and I've moved 30 times, so hopefully this one sticks for a bit. But yeah, so my debut work of poetry is called Ebb and Flow. I had a background with all of the with the cover, but it was like messing with my computer, so I decided to take it down. Sorry, but thank you, Generalissimo. Thank you for making the background, and thank you for inviting me to be a part of this. And thank you, FUMFA, for doing this. So back to the book. Ebb and Flow is a collection of poems that were all written last year in 2021. And they are basically just trying to make sense of my return to New York. I left in 2016 after 4 years and swore I would never come back, and yet here I am again. So I thought I would just read a few from my book, and one that's not in my book. Ooh, the plot thickens. Okay. So this first one is called The Guitar on the Terrace. And I sort of started writing it in my head on a very cold day in January while I was out in Central Park. A woman, bundled up so only her eyes show, sits on the terrace and plays, red fingers picking a small guitar like she was born doing it, the melody ringing soft in the winter air, slowing passers-by, luring them in to listen as she resurrects familiar melodies from a different time. I lean against a pillar, listening to her, notes wafting comfort over me while a couple nearby sings along. What a wonderful world. I silence my thoughts and stay with them in the present, content in knowing there is only now until the next moment. So that was The Guitar on the Terrace. So being back in New York, I've been sort of, refamiliarizing myself with all my favorite places, going to new places, making new connections with people. And of course, that means dating. And last year, I had many a dating misadventure. Nothing happened with these guys. I mean, like nothing moved forward, but it was excellent fuel for my writing. So this one is for Cat Guy. It's titled For Cat Guy, and just goes to show it's true what they say: don't date a writer. Okay. For Cat Guy. I let you fuck me because, yes, you persisted, but mostly because I was after a little relief from the anxiety of what it would be like to be naked in that way again. Your thoughtlessness was dazzling. Your lack of foreplay was disappointing, but to be fair, you did warn me saying, I just want to fuck you. And you did. So thank you. And now I'll return the favor, warning you that this won't go on much longer. In fact, I think it's pretty much over. I didn't care if I heard from you again. Goodbyes in front of your apartment. You hopped on your bike and rode off in the same direction I was walking in. But you hit me with a text the week after saying, I heard your name in a movie last night. To which I took my time to reply, must have been a really good movie. And you responded, it sure was, a little too quickly. I didn't add anything after that, but being a ghost didn't sit right until I realized I was serving the same treatment I received. I was your second thought, and you, mine. So that was for Cat Guy, hell of a guy, great chap, keeper even. Oh. Goddess forbid. So as was previously said, I live on Staten Island, and as such, I use the ferry to commute to go into Manhattan, coming and going. Hence the title of my book, Ebb and Flow, available now. Um, so the ferry has become like a central part of my life, and I have come to really appreciate the commute. So this is titled The Ferry. The horn blasts, interrupting the silence of home gone to bed, but in my dreams I'll know the ferry's docked, ready to take what's left of night back to the city. So that's my book, Ebb and Flow. If you'd like it, you can send me a DM on Instagram. Miro Reads Books, if you're so inclined to give me a little follow. And I will leave you guys with this. This is not my book, but this is called When I Put Out. When I put out into the universe that I don't have the energy to entertain new dick, that is exactly the moment when new dick presents itself. Like, I'm just trying to worship at the temple of me for a minute, kiss the ground I'm walking on for a moment before making way for new dick to trample over these hallowed grounds. And for now, when the need arises, I've got semi-reliable dick I can hit. And when that dick doesn't text, I've got the dick in my head and some good vibes that always do the trick. And by the way, I have yet to meet a dick that can fuck me the way I fuck me. Besides, do I really want the headache that comes with allowing new dick in my world? Judging from experience and the many Excedrin taken, no. Then again, I find myself vacillating between my choices to have dick or be without, annoyed that my mind won't focus on something with a touch more substance. I'm a boy-crazy college freshman all over again, salivating over the new dicks that look at me, though most, no, all, aren't nearly close to being worthy. This I know from my many, many past encounters. Don't think I'm being cocky. But what if really great new dick comes around? You know, the rare kind that's respectful, funny, thoughtful, but knows how to throw down. Do I interrupt myself to let new dick in, or step aside and watch him keep on going? Indecisive like Hamlet, my mind presents the ghost of Dick's past battling with the potential of Dick future, this epic mental cockfight doing nothing to alleviate endless thoughts of anxious what ifs. Sometimes I think it would be easier to forget it all and drown the possibilities in a big slice of yellow cake with pink icing, my current favorite, but you can't nuzzle cake the way you can new dick. See what I mean by headache? Thank you.
Mira, you just knocked us out. All of those poems were amazing, and that last one was just fabulous,
Wow.
hilarious, and wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for.
Thank you. Fabulous.
Thank you. Well, thanks for saying so. Thanks for lending me your ears, and thanks for the space. I appreciate it.
Our pleasure. We'll have to have you back, Miro.
I would love it. I would love it.
Give our regards to Staten Island.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Staten Island is cool now. It didn't used to be cool. It's cool now.
Oh yeah, no, it's totally cool now. It's super cool.
Awesome. Awesome. What an incredible night we're having already. And we have 7 more incredible poets. Oh, wow. Oh, I just got such a kick. Such a kick out of that last poem. Fabulous. Generalissimo, Miro, amazing. And now we need to welcome Nick Paleologos. Hey, Nick.
You got my last name right, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy. You made my night already.
Yay! Nick, I'm guessing this is a Greek last name.
Yep, you got it.
I'm half Greek. You can't tell from my Schneider last name, but the other half is Greek.
Yeah. I can tell.
So I have some experience. My mom might say something in the chat.
I'll keep my eye on that.
All right, Nick P, we're going to read your bio, and then we're excited to hear you, Nick. Nicholas Paleologos is a poet, spoken word artist, host, and cosplayer who lives in New Jersey. Since 2020, he has performed online and in person at open mics, including at the New Eurekan Poets Cafe and the Barbed Wire open mic series. He was featured with Why Open Pandora's Box at the New York City Poetry Festival. In 2021, he hosts a bi-weekly open mic, Poetry Time with Nick P, and The Word is Right. He has worked on and contributed to 3 anthologies, Quarantine, I Can't Breathe, and Love Letters to Gaia. His first book, Adversus Reaction, is available for purchase through Red or Green Books, of course, and we'll leave you to it, Nick.
Absolutely. It's great to be here. Great to see you all in the chat and here. So let's get into it. This book is literally 8 degrees of separation. There is so many things in this book. There's a poem for everything, pretty much. And also, when you get my book, there is also a hidden poem throughout the book. So there's bold lettering. You put that all together and you make the title poem, Adversus Reaction. But I'm not reading that one. Tonight I got 4 for y'all. All for my book. This first one. I've been feeling this one. Escaping Asylum. You ever try to escape asylum? It's barbed wire and concrete crushed and compressed against your chest. It's a million paper cuts without a first aid kit, let alone some Neosporin. Insides are burning with anxiety, with bullies staring at you, analyzing your every move without a guard in sight. Trapped in a concrete jungle, the map is envisioned. There is an indecision to make that first incision to escape. Concrete turns to crystal prism. No longer is this a prison. Dig for the escape route. With a rusty spoon in hand, claw out light to grasp it. For what feels like centuries, no longer handcuffed, ball and chained, you shaw and shank for redemption from the life sentence that has been cast down. By a gavel of corruption, bring on the disruption. Torment has no hold of you. Society is right on the outside. Prison was not holding back. It was only yourself. We're going to go a little lighter on this next one. Out of tune, yet in sync with the earth. My body is a rhythm that no one understands. My feet shuffle like a deck of cards. My arms tick-tock, alarm clock as rhythm graces, sacrifices the nerves for flow. My body is a rhythm that no one understands. My hands flow with the winds of change. My hips are afraid to reveal too much, to revel and unravel. I love how it moves, grooves against the pavement. The payment is indifference. My body is a rhythm that no one understands. My feet taste the salty sand. Crystals caress my body, sway with me. Take the edges, press against my lips. Run down to my rib cage where coconuts kiss my heart, where mangoes embrace my lungs as the island inhales my body. With a crowd of people watching, waiting, they try to decipher what my pottery is speaking. It is like reading Hellenic and only knowing English. My body is a rhythm that no one understands. I am okay with this. So for my next one, this one is, I guess you could say, my favorite sort of piece. And I believe it's the only one that I have memorized. So I'm going to see if I have it still memorized. Gang Gargantuan Comparison. Out of the original 151, if I were a Pokemon, I would be Gengar. Gengar's only 4'9". I'm a little taller than Gengar. In Gengar's Pokedex entry, it states it gets 10 degrees colder when someone enters the territory. I have that same effect. It is a ghost and poison type. Ghost like merge with shadows. Poison as addiction to me. Poison as corruptive, corrosive. Gengar's ability is cursed body. Cursed and hexed is this body trying to rip off shadowy skin to have a better connection with the soul. In order to get a Gengar, you get a Ghastly first. At level 25, Ghastly evolves into Haunter. Haunter needs to be traded to evolve into Gengar. I let go of what I was. I was cursed into Nightshade, felt dark pulses on my forearms, shuddered from mean looks. Up and ties them back. When they cheer for me, it's payback for those looks. When poetry is fed to me, I'm eating the dreams, filling my soul to the brim, so when I get back to life, I can deal with the hits. Each sucker punch I took dropped my HP to 0 faint. At the sight of defeat, I licked my wounds after each battle, drowning in a sludge wave. Despite the help I'm asking for, I get shadow punch, only to claw back from those very shadows. I have been so used to singing perish songs about me that I disassociate with how to heal. I will bond this destiny, take the shadows that control me, ball it up, project this apparition forward to deliver the final blow in my battle so that way I can be amongst the elite four many years to come. Legacy is coming. I can feel it emanating. This ghost is alive again. All right. So I got one more for y'all. And I always either close with one or the other poem because they're both really, really good poems. And I think it's time for me to take y'all to church. I'm taking you to church. Welcome to the Church of Poeminality. We accept everyone here unless you are an oppressor or you have any of these diseases. It is not limited to xenophobia, racism, sexism, homophobia, biphobia, transphobia, misogyny, and any other hatred of our human race. We have services available to rehab those behaviors. If you or any members are inflicting any harm, you will be booted out faster than Des Bryant throwing up the X after a touchdown. The matrimony is prose and poetry. We anoint the sick with the oils of our ink. We are baptized and confirmed in words. Our ordained ministers are the hosts. We don't do communion here. Community is enough. Our columns have poetry all over them. Our scriptures are poetry slams. Our hymns are free verses. Our windows are stained glass of the poets of the past and present. Our scaffolding states, you are worth it. No confessions here. Our work is all we need. The debts to be paid is to yourself. You owe yourself love and to properly tell your story. If you cannot pay, we will work with you. Anyone can attend the Church of Poeminality. Just be brave, be vulnerable, don't be hateful. Most of all, be yourself. We look forward to having you here. And if you are new here, then we all say, I'm taking you to church. The church isn't a building, though. It's every open mic you've ever been to. That's all from me tonight, folks. Thank you, everyone.
Woo! Take us to church. Nick, that was awesome. Oh, just absolutely fabulous stuff, Nick. So inspiring, so full of energy. Thank you so much for everything that you shared tonight.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, everyone. Amen indeed.
Yay! All right. Well, Nick P, that was absolutely amazing. We are so lucky to have so many incredible people on tonight. Generalissimo, Miro, Nick P, and we have several more amazing poets. And our next poet up is Gigi. Welcome, Gigi.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, I'm pumped up. This is just such an incredible night full of amazing poetry and energy already. So excited to hear you as well, Gigi. Chris is gonna go ahead and read your bio.
Yep, here we go. Born and raised in Massachusetts, Gigi started writing poetry in 2020 as a New Year's resolution. Try art that made her feel uncomfortable and challenge herself. Poetry has brought her comfort during quarantine and the passing of her father. She writes about love, finding herself and her journey through grief. She hopes that her poetry connects with others, which I'm sure it will tonight, and helps them feel less alone as they journey through grief. Welcome, Gigi. Take it away.
Hi, thank you. I'm so glad to be here. So yeah, I'm gonna read just some, I got like 5 poems for y'all. They're pretty short. This is my wonderful book. You can find me at iron_resilience on Instagram. I also have a website, arcadian-poetry.com, where you can buy my book. I make it pretty accessible for everyone. Alrighty. So this first one is a love poem because I have 2 really wonderful girlfriends. And so, I have some poetry about them dazzled in this book. So this first one is called I Left My Voice in Your Bed. I wonder if you can hear me, the graveling of words through a voice lost in pillows and comforters. I mouth your name through breaths of a cold apartment, and I think I left my voice there. I wonder if you can hear me as I trace the vowels of sweet words I said to you as I make my way back home. I am now looking for my voice, unpacking my bags, wondering where I misplaced it. Maybe I left my voice in your apartment as we said goodbye. I hope you open your window so the voice that called you breathtaking can seep out into the air. I'd like to have my voice back here, back home, but maybe I left it where I want to be, and maybe that's why I left it there. And that's the first one. And like they had said, a lot of my poetry is about the grief of my father during the start of the pandemic. In 2020, my dad was diagnosed with a glioblastoma, which is a very rare kind of brain tumor, and he unfortunately passed away 3 months after. And I was so fortunate to find this poetry community during the most loneliest time of my life to make it feel a little less alone. So this one is called Silent Churches. Churches grew silent after you died. I felt I could hear a pin drop. Online sermons and outdoor congregations brought preachers with words I couldn't hear. Sermons sounded muffled. No breaking of the bread. No faces that seemed friendly enough to break bread with. Churches felt silent to me. I could not hear God in the Psalms nor in the homily. Mouthing prayers, my voice made no sound. After you died, I felt God leave my church. I could not tell if he left because he could or because he was asking me to follow him. Wherever he is leading me, I hope I hear his voice soon. I'm sitting in a church surrounded by congregants, but I hear no sound. And then let's see. This one. This one is actually one of my favorite ones. This one's called Hands on Top of Graves. There are moments where I sit beside you and I put my hands through the blades of grass and I take in air I wish could fill your lungs. I hold my breath for a moment and I feel what it's like to be you, motionless and breathless. For a moment, there isn't a cloud in the sky. I hope you see it from the other side. There are moments I run my hands on top of blades of grass, on top of your grave, and I hold my breath wishing you could hold yours. Then I have 2 more for y'all. And then this one is called, let's see, I Wonder Her Name. I rifle through old photos. I find pictures of her, a girl I barely recognize. Her eyes, they shimmer like mine. Hers don't look so heavy. Her gaze full of hope. This was before she discovered the gravity of morality. I wonder what her name is. It feels familiar on my tongue. I wonder how her father is. She looks so very young. I wonder if I told her, would she grasp every moment or would it break her heart early? I wonder what her name is. Does she spell it like mine? And then this is my last one I have for y'all. This one's called Birthday Gifts and Running Shoes. Fun fact, I actually sent in the final copy of my book on my birthday, and I'm glad I got to sneak this poem in. An early birthday present to myself in this upcoming year is one of movement. The permission to abandon everything. I find myself not digging my heels into the dirt, wanting stability, but using it as traction. As I am running, they say you can't run away from your problems, but with frequent flyer miles, I'd like to disagree. I've packed my life into small bags, bouncing from city to city. Don't stay long enough for people to miss you, but just enough for you to be remembered. Remember, it doesn't stop the grief or the emptiness. I'd rather be sad someplace exciting than in my hometown where faces are blank. They feel familiar but foggy, and I'm so tired of feeling fucking foggy. Is it running from your problems? If the problem was stillness and stagnation, and is it running away from home if home is just a house now? I'm learning to be okay with sadness sitting in the room when joy is present, as long as sadness is only a guest but not the host. Is it running away when you're not running from but towards someplace that feels like home? Then what better gift to give yourself than the gift of buying yourself a big bag and some running shoes? Thank you so much, everyone.
Woohoo! Gigi, awesome. So it's incredible. Your poetry has just like exploded since 2020. All of this has just been in these last 2 years. You're incredible.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it. I had started my first open mic at like this little place called the Dirty Gerund in Worcester, and then when the quarantine happened, one of my wonderful girlfriends had sent me a link to the Neo and was just like, you should read here, like you should sign up. And so I joined like week 2, and I've been going like almost every Monday for like the past like 2 years, and it's crazy. And I have a book now, and like what a wild journey.
That is so awesome. Congratulations, Gigi.
Thank you. And thank you for having me.
Yes. Thank you for being here tonight, and congratulations on your book.
Thank you. I can't wait to watch the other poet. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you. So amazing. Just, Chris, it's an amazing night, isn't it?
It is.
Absolutely incredible. And we have more for you.
Yes, we do. We're not even halfway through yet.
We are barely halfway there, and we need to welcome our next reader, wordsmith Phillip Boykin. Oops, sorry,
What?
that's Tori. Not Tori.
Wow, look at that. Hey, look at this.
The video moved in the
funny
backstage.
as
I clicked the wrong thing. The apologies about
It's all good. It's all good.
Phillip, welcome.
How you doing? How you doing?
It's so great to have you. I'm going to go ahead and read your bio. No, nobody else on screen now. All right. Phillip Hayes Boykin was born in Seaside, California, and introduced to poetry in 7th grade English. He went to open mics and church events in high school as a way to cope with the death of his grandmother, and he got back to what helped him out the most, which was poetry. He gathered more knowledge of other arts like acting, dancing, and martial arts, and using the expertise he gained to fuel his writing. His storytelling and rhyme scheme poetry is a fan favorite in the poetry community. We can't wait to hear you, Wordsmith Philly.
Hi, how y'all doing? All right, so I have a few poems. I'm gonna do 3 from the book and then 2 that aren't in the book. So these first 3 are in the book. The first one I'm going to read is called The Perfect Slave. And so my book is basically called The Voices of the Fallen, and it is in basically poetry form. They're fictional stories about the African American slave trade. So yeah, here we go. Perfect Slave. How do you go about making the perfect slave? How can you make the rebellious willingly behave? When they tilt your ship of obedience, can you surf those rocky waves? When they groom your rough look, where is your trust? When they start your shave, how do you get those slaves to be on the same page? when you know they want to kill you, no matter what gender or age. I'll tell you. You get them when they're young. You kill men in front of their young. Harm women and snatch their young. Make sure you get those tender young. After you ruin families, tend to their young. Force them to see death, but don't mend their young. Now, you got a well-oiled machine, ready to follow your rules and live out your dream of being a landowner without doing any work. A dream of being a great while owning slaves with no worth. Behold the beauty of destructive greed, made by you, the one with reproductive needs. But you still have the ones who don't mind you. As you whip and torture and pillage, call calls of obedience as you order a wounded village. The rebels grow tired of the business you grew. In order to end revolts of rebels, you have to display the reflection of devils as you maim and hang the rioters who run. Continue until the revolts are done. Then one day, you'll see admiration in your work, the perfect slave. Take away any ways of self-worth, the perfect slave. Hidden cries under worn-down rags, the perfect slave. Happy to paint a smile on its tasteless face, the perfect slave. You did good, boy. You did real good. The next poem I'm going to read is called The Willow, and this is also in the book, Voices of the Fallen. The Willow. The wind blows as bodies just rock. As the pain grows, the bodies just stuck, piling up, and they just grow a stench that will make your eyes bleed. Birthing the begging of the weak to fall to their knees and regurgitate their mama's cooking and daddy's beef stew as the willow tree rocks back and forth, swinging bodies more than two, telling stories without speaking, expressing emotion as it's creaking, while telling truth through bloody fruit, low-hanging with blood-stained roots. No lies are being announced as the bodies talk, expressing knowledge as people gawk at the strange fruit that the willow tree grows. Gaze from your stoop while the bodies move when the wind blows. Behold the real America, the America that it wants to hide. Be sure to cover your nose as the strange fruit rots in the sunshine. All right. Got one more for the book, and then got something else for you. This one is called Fake Smiles. He had a collection of a certain souvenirs, an assortment of belongings from the slavery atmosphere. If he needed anything, he need not ask a soul. He just gathered up his men and took a basic stroll, finding what he needed, finding what he wanted. Just taking it was so easy. From any slave he found, whether they were dead or breathing. No one dared ask why, remaining silent. He just took, being ruthless as the days go by stealing like a natural crook. No need for any reason. He just took anything, no attempt to be discreet. Jawbones, eyeballs, even the toes off of their feet, rib cages and earlobes, and private parts, men, women, and child. There's no end when he starts. He just takes until he finally fills his fill. Then he leaves them broken, begging to be killed. But he just smiles and forces them to go back to work as he shows off the dentures he has made with the mystery of collecting them. That's even worse. Behold and beware the smiling massa and the smelly jewelry he has. Stare off into space and plug your ears when he laughs. He's a wicked man with no love for anything. He collects body parts from his slaves like wedding rings. Enjoy his fake smile as he mocks the songs the slave sings. Beware of him, wearing his smelly collection as it swings. I have 2 more poems. This first one is called The Mental State Behind I'm Okay. I'm okay. I am okay. I am okay. This is me starting my day off with a lie, holding back tears as I try not to cry, wondering about my decisions or if I'll fail when I try to have a normal day, but instead I just mold into my bed as I lie. I'm okay. I'm okay. I am okay. I grew up with ugly thoughts that I still wear around my neck like an albatross, hoping for a day of beauty, wishing I had a strength to pay the cost for a smile, a laugh, or even a fresh air of breath. Seems like a dream at times because there's no funds left. I just want happiness, but anxiety tells me otherwise. I want my joy to be real, but I can't hide how I feel. I just want to shout. I just want to bawl. I just want to tell people that I'm actually sad, but I hide it underneath it all. Being a funny guy with some natural swag. These Jordans, they helped out a bit, and these poems, they give me confidence. But I'm still unhappy all day. I still feel empty in all ways, but I still act normal always. Showing off my pictures in my Jordans and New Jays. I'm okay. I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay. I just want joy in my life. Soak up the fun days. Instead, I just mope and feel like a dope on Sundays. But it's all good. I mean, that's what I tell you on occasion. I'm sorry if I scared you with this. I'm just sharing my mental state behind why I'm okay. Are you guys good? Okay, then. All right, I got one more poem, and that'll do it for me. This one is called Addictive Solutions. Addictive solutions. We find ourselves in a relationship with our vices. We hinder our health, trying to gain a grip on what entices, our yearn for a good time, and our need for a release. We turn to sex, lust, and drugs for our stressful decrease. It is tempting to be empty of pain and trauma because, quite simply, we're gifting our lives with such bad karma. In order to get through our days with a fresh breath or a wonderful grin, we must cleanse our torture with a dreadful sin. Whether it's drinking away our sorrows or smoking away our tomorrows, we hope to find a better day. We hope that better days will follow as we remain tone deaf and hollowed when it comes to facing our problems with a sober confidence. we just turn up our nose to this philosophy and live in a viced establishment. Addictive solutions is our way of life. Addictive solutions. Blessed be the name of our vice. Thank you.
Wordsmith Philly! Awesome, powerful pieces.
Very powerful.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Phillip.
Thank you.
Can you show up? Hold up your book for a second.
Yes.
We
Oh,
should-
okay.
yeah, everybody
Oh,
hold
you
up.
mean this book right here? You talking
There you
about
Oh
this?
yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
I
Look at
won't-
that. Yeah. Yeah, you see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You
Gorgeous, powerful pieces, powerful poems. Thank you so much for sharing with us tonight, and we'll have to invite you and everybody back. You're all just absolutely incredible. Thank you so much, Wordsmith
Thank
Philly.
you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yes.
And honestly, man, it's been an honor just doing this. So thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Just incredible, just absolutely incredible. Every single one of our guests tonight, absolutely amazing. And we have more. We need to welcome Tori Lutz for real this time. Welcome, Tori.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. How's it going?
Great.
All right.
Chris is going to read
Oh.
your bio for us.
That's right, I am. Hold on one second here. Yes, okay, here we go. I know I have, there we go. Tori is a poet from Miami, Florida. She has received degrees in English from Florida State University and Columbia University. But she currently lives in New York City pursuing journalism and poetry. Her love of writing began with a love of reading the Harry Potter series at the age of 6. Since then, she has explored songwriting, short and long fiction, nonfiction, poetry, and academic writing. A little bit of everything.
Woo!
But here she goes. Take it away, Tori.
I'm actually back in Miami, so that's how that goes. I think I'm going to just start today by reading the introduction for this. So it kind of tells you what the book is about, and then I'll read a few poems for you. And thank you guys for being here. I love doing this, especially in the pandemic where it's hard to do this in person. So I love that there are options now. So anyway, here's the introduction. So much of our emotional development in the most formative years of our lives can be tied to the little moments that make up the biggest pictures. First loves, first losses, first clumsy and painful navigations through our own mental health. Many of the most passionate and striking memories can be found in these firsts that have brought us to new chapters in life. This book is about those firsts as well as the roads they can lead down. It captures both the giddy joy of new experiences as well as the jaded retrospection of an older self. We may no longer be our innocent childhood selves, but the stories from that era in our lives became the clay that molded who we are now. From my first kiss to my first mental health prescription, I have grown and changed and lived so much. This is my attempt at a love letter to all those beautiful moments that have made themselves a part of the mosaic I now see in the mirror. After all, some of the shiniest things are made up of little broken fragments. I hope this collection speaks to all of your glittering pieces as well. May the picture they create give everything you've carried a purpose. So this first poem is called, But First, a Disclaimer. Mi vida, I've never been good at letting go. If I were to touch poison ivy, I wouldn't snap my hand back and scramble to heal the burn. I'd sit among the weeds and wrap myself in a blanket of stinging stars. I'd fall asleep not even recognizing the itch as something wrong because at least it's familiar. At least it's a pain I can recognize, can sleep off, can pretend is all in my head like everything else. And then the second poem is called Suffocating. It's probably my favorite poem in the book and the one that I know that Nick likes, so I always read it. This is kind of more mental health side, and that was kind of the more relationship side of the book. It's a dual situation. So Suffocating. Breathe in, breathe out. On a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling today? 1 meaning 1 foot in the grave and the other barely grabbing the edge. 10 meaning tenacious, vivacious, and every other acious that can describe how elated you are. Maybe you're feeling a 5 if you're doing just fine. There is no right answer, of course, unless you consider anything below a 4 the right answer. 4 because we care for you and can't let anything bad happen. So let's lock this shit down before it becomes a problem, because we can't have your brain is shutting down on us now. But answer honestly, on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling today? No pressure, but you aren't the only one with problems, and we need to know how serious this is before we can move on. Move on. Can you at least say a 6? Sorry? Sick of this. No, at least a 6. I'll jot down a 7 if it's all the same to you. Then you look chipper enough today. Keep that head up. We all know what happened when you last reached a 2. 2 as in too fucking bad. You've got shit to do. I think we should aim for an 8 by tomorrow. If you 8 before tomorrow, we could even put a 9, but I'm not sure you're there yet, and it's asinine to shoot too high. So how about that 7 again? What? 3. That won't do, you see. That has to be documented, prioritized, considered a problem. Other people have real problems. Can't you see? We don't have time for a crisis. If you're gonna fuck it up, at least do it right. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay. And this one is called If Hallmark Made a Card for Everything. Whew. If Hallmark made a card for everything, how many puns could they make out of sorry about your colonoscopy? How many cardboard castles might be dedicated to sweet romantic musings for the side chick on Valentine's Day? What colors would they use to capture a sorry your parents sold your childhood home condolence card? I bet they'd have a hell of a time figuring out the details for a congrats on losing your virginity pop-up, or perhaps something more along the lines of sorry I came in 17 seconds IOU would be a more likely bestseller. I doubt I speak for just myself when I say I'd be browsing the fuck that guy girlfriend cards. If the aisles went on forever and the cardstock depicted every godforsaken human emotion, experience, wish, mistake, what sentiments might overflow my mailbox, and what cheesy one-liners would I feel compelled to stuff into crinkly envelopes? Maybe if everything came on an overpriced compulsory gesture, we'd have less question marks and more, how the fuck did you find a card for my eating disorder? Which drawer does this even get stuffed into? God, can't Hallmark go back to making fucking movies instead? I thought they profited off of people's innate horror at being honest. Okay. So I'm going to do a shorter kind of a love one just to like bring us down a little bit. It's called Evergreen. You never forget or lose your grip on your first love. It's life's purest connection, the smell of smoke that takes you from childhood to fairy tale, to loss and back again, with something as mundane as a Polaroid, a yearbook, a pressed flower from a corsage that's long since wilted. Okay, I think I've got 2 more for you. This one is called Psych Word Socks. You have a better grip on anything than I ever will. Pale blue like my eyes, yet calmer. Soothing and smoothing even the toughest wrinkles. You're my quietest trophy, proof that my pain is certifiable and survivable. Everyone who knows you will also recognize you, and the rest linger on you the same as any sock. The ones with the tacos are cuter anyway. But you don't need the flair, the distractions. You're the opposite, steadfast and solid, and one of the only pairs with whom I could never part. Those stuck-up taco socks could never make me smile through the tears like you. They could never stay soft through special occasion only use. Though, thank you for your service as a souvenir on my worst days. Thank you for keeping me warm through a different kind of cold. I don't always remember the cacophony of thoughts, fears, unmentionables that sent me to the ER that night, that left me catatonic and my mother terrified. But you, I know you. You are a permanent staple in my wardrobe, even if you'll never be worn from use. Thank you for being the uniform of a night I survived without knowing I could. Okay, and then my last one is called Pretty Pills. If love could be measured in milligrams, I'd overdose on you. Pack you into my Pez dispenser and make a coma taste like
Uh-oh, Tori. Uh-oh. Oh, we lost you, Tori. No. Tori was killing it, right, everybody? Absolutely amazing. It looks like she may have lost connection or maybe battery power if she was using. Oh, she's back. All right, Tori, start from the top of that last one. We gotta hear it.
I literally have no idea what even happened. My computer didn't even die.
Oh no! It was because you were rocking us so hard with your poetry.
No, wait, I'm almost done. Okay, so Pretty Pills, I'm so sorry. If love could be measured in milligrams, I'd overdose on you. Pack you into my Pez dispenser and make a coma taste like candy. You're the kind of medicine that doesn't need a chaser, the kind of danger that leaves the good type of burn in my throat, chest, stomach, and feels better than healing. If only you weren't so damn pretty, maybe then I'd read the directions, the warning label. Maybe then I'd remember I'm not choking on sweet tarts as my eyes flutter shut. Okay, thank you, and thank you for your patience with that.
Woo!
You can find the link to buy it if you follow me on Instagram. I'm Tori Let's Poetry,
Woo!
and I'll also put a link in the Facebook chat. So
Tori, your poem was absolutely amazing, so powerful, and you rocked us. You got to see all of your love in the comments in the chat, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Tori.
All right. Yeah, Tori Lutz. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. And, I love the comment that Ashley just posted here. She said that the universe said, nah, run that shit back. Yeah. I love that. Perfect. Well, we have 3 more poets for you tonight. So I hope you are ready to continue to have your world rocked by poetry. And up next, we have Emily. Oh, I'm sorry. You're doing the banners, Chris. Right. Sorry. Emily Cortez. Welcome, Emily.
There she is.
Hello.
How are you?
Emily, I'll go ahead and introduce you with your bio. Emily Cortez is a NYC-based actress, writer, and arts marketer fundraiser. She hails from Pittsburgh, PA, and is a graduate of Smith College and Columbia University. She has performed in numerous theater, film, and web productions and is the co-creator of #SoSadSoSexy, a devised play about the fetishization. I can't say it today.
Word, yeah.
Of mentally ill women, which will premiere live in NYC March 2022. Get out and see that, everyone. Her theater reviews and articles have been published on the blogs Theater is Easy, HowlRound, CultureBot, and the Theater Times. Emily's debut poetry collection, Armful of Poppies, was published in 2021 and is available through Evergreen Books. Take it away, Emily.
Thank you. Thank you all for tuning in, and thank you for FUMFA for featuring all of us. This has been such an amazing night. So I'm going to read a couple from my book. This first one is called Burn. This was featured in Love Letters to Gaia. Shout out to Miro and everyone who helped make that possible. It's hard to scream when your lungs are filled with fire and you're breathing for the whole world, ashes clotting in your throat. Smoke is rising from the treetops as we sing Selva Salvaje, and the shaman cannot save us with his songs and hands like waves. He's burning too. His charms are failing, cast adrift in seas of faces, trumpets sounding in a language all can feel but none can speak. The empath sits in silence in the wastelands, in the storefronts, while we dance in dust and glitter, making worlds to watch them burn. Bearing witness as she's cringing, body waiting for the next blow, holding space as she unravels, vowing she'll not ache alone. And the witches cast their circles, making charms to heal her suffering. And the rain falls like a cool hand, resting on her feverish brow. Spirits of the vines and deserts breathe their wisdom through our bodies as we hold her, changing with her, children once and guardians now. As the prismed light engulfs us and the night shifts into day, building bridges in the shadows, hands outstretched, for this we pray. May the darkness not destroy us. May the light not sear our eyes. May the fire that's within us rise like embers to the skies. Thank you. So a little background about my book. Armful of Poppies. This very much came out of the pandemic. I would not have returned to writing poetry after a bit of a decade or so hiatus, nor would I have been this prolific or met Marissa or any of this community if not for the online open mics that which sort of came up out of the pandemic. So this book is very much about beauty and pain growing from the same roots. So I love the symbolism of poppies, how they can represent both the good and the bad in life, remembrance, death, oblivion, growth, so many things. And so this one I'm going to read, called Libations, is sort of in that same kind of a vein. It's a tribute to the beauty that still remains even in the midst of struggle. Outside the brick-walled Lebanese place, crowded brunch spot now termed farm stand. By the pistachios and salab, date molasses, orange blossom cookies, potted mint and cherry tomatoes, the wine bottle hit the sidewalk, scents of fruit and fermentation seeping through our masks like perfume, rivers running over pavement, spilling a curbside libation for the concrete, for the gutters, for the dead. Embarrassed for the clumsy customer, I squeaked an "Opa" as the owner lunged, broom-handed. The pretty-eyed waitress shrugged, passing my takeout. It means money. My cash tip, all 75 cents left in my wallet, confirming superstition. It seems they needed change. I thought back to last weekend when my friend and I left Brooklyn for a place long abandoned, exercising mold and memories with bleach and palo blessings. Old wine bottles nearing vinegar spilled in tribute in the backyard as the evening cheers erupted for the heroes, for the poets, for the dead. Somewhere in the daily cycle, from the inbox to the cat box to the mailbox, I'd forgotten. The purple of crisscrossed wisteria, children's unicorn bike helmets, cardinal and blue jay signals, women in the drugstore line wear weeples, and the moon like a pale garnish as we lift our cups in tribute to the nighttime, to the springtime, to the dead. Some places still stay open and take loose change dug from sofas, and some gods still deal in wine instead of blood. And this next one's a little bit of a sillier one. It's a tribute to my cat and her favorite toy. It's called Champagne versus the Laser Pointer. One day, she will catch it, swallow the dot like Neo's red pill, and step outside the matrix. Achieve apotheosis like Egyptian cats of old. Reign supreme in cardboard castles. Scale her cat tree to the cosmos. Elevate to new dimensions where unicorns poop rainbows into stardust litter boxes. And space anchovies swim through constellations to offer up themselves for her delight. Till that day, elusive laser wins the battle, not the war. So she snorts a line of catnip and she mutters, "One day more." Okay. So another thing that very much helped make this book possible was the New Eurekan Poets Cafe's online open mics. I used to work for the cafe, and a little bit of a backstory around this book was that I was doing admin work for the cafe, and very often, pre-pandemic, when the workday ended, I would just, head out and do my own thing. I wouldn't really stay around as much for the performances, but I would, when the pandemic happened and we were doing the online open mics, I would be running Zoom tech for the events, and it just really brought me face to face with all the immense talent that was, part of this community and all the awesome people in it. And sure enough, once, vaccinations became more widespread and things started reopening, we finally all got to meet in person. And this one is a tribute to the very first time a bunch of us got together. It's called Supper Club. The first of many suppers in a hot poet's summer. Zoom-dazed eyes were getting number, each heartbeat a lonely drummer, till a brunch became, "What's up?" Virus twilight turned to sunrise. Now it's real life dropping real rhymes. Notebooks passed around the table. Serve it up like chips con queso. Double dipping. Now it's safe to throw it back. We're vaxxed, relaxed, out the gate, ready for action. Got the munchies. Now in bunches we snack attack. A gut reaction. Like brujas round the cauldron, we mix this stone soup. Each one adding to the brew, cooking up a feast for you. Poetic sancocho nourishing our souls. Little verde in our bowls. Pass the greens, that's how we roll. And words can bring the bitter herbs, but that's okay. Can't salt our game, we shake and strain. Mix with lime and tequila till we shoot it down again. Light the grill, it's time for summer with my hot poetic friends. And as Gaia as our witness, will not go hungry again. And this very last one is the title poem, Armful of Poppies. I wrote this after getting my second shot. I roll up my sleeve as the needle approaches. Old t-shirt from Giverny, Monet's poppies blaze open. Adorned in remembrance of a world rendered comatose, fairy tale beauties by evil force frozen, yet piercingly lucid as thorned vines grew over us. Awakened by pinprick, can spells be thus broken? Now my shoulder blooms red, tiny blossom unfolding, a miniature miracle caught in stop motion. Small as a poppy seed, powerfully potent, birthing dreams of a better world steeped in devotion, or a return to ignorance, rush for the comfort zone? Will we trade hard-won clarity for dull myopia? But each century's plague bears its own ring of roses, and scar tissue stronger than flesh that's unbroken. As the earth in her wisdom yields our cures and our opiates, may our poppy-filled arms carry emblems of hope. Thank you. Thank you all so much.
Emily! Oh my gosh, incredible, incredible poems! Hot Poet Summer! Oh, absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful book. Everybody, you got to go get all these books. I believe there is a link on the Red or Green Books page where you can buy all 10, and you should.
Absolutely.
Absolutely awesome. Emily, thank you so much. Your poems were incredibly powerful, such vivid imagery, really, really lovely. And I loved kind of your shout out to all of your poet friends in the Hot Poet Summer piece. I think I
think some of them recognized themselves in there.
I think they did. So
Great.
wonderful, Emily. Thank you.
And the cat poem too. We see your cat poster in the background.
Yeah, the cats don't give an F over there. I love it.
Sadly, she was sitting next to me, but she ran off, or else I would have turned the camera to feature her.
Okay.
Yeah, you know.
Get shy.
Cute. All right. Well, absolutely amazing, Emily Cordes. And we
Woo.
need to welcome our next poet, Roz Diaz. Welcome, Roz.
She is. How are you?
Hi, thank you for having me.
We are
This
so
is
excited to have
amazing.
you, Roz. You are one of the first, put it in the chat, poets that I got to meet after meeting Midnight. Your work is absolutely incredible. And look at that beautiful cover art you have on your book there, Lady Lotus. Beautiful.
Yes, so that was thanks to Generalissimo. Thank you guys for having me. I mean, thanks to the New York Poets Cafe. Thanks to this amazing poetry community. I'd never thought that I would publish a book throughout this
So awesome.
pandemic, but so much good has come out of it.
Absolutely.
This is my book. You can follow
Beautiful.
me on Through Her Big Brown Eyes on Instagram and order it from me directly. Or if you want the entire collection, go through Red or Green Books and get you all 10.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Chris, can you read
First-
her bio for
Yep.
us?
First, we do the bio. And Roz Diaz is a Puerto Rican poet raised in the Bronx. She's passionate about law, social justice, and helping people.
Woo.
By profession, she aims her advocacy efforts toward reunifying broken families. However, her passions influence her career and her poetry alike. Though she began writing early on, it wasn't until she began her healing journey that she decided to share her work publicly at open mics. In efforts to address resurfacing trauma, poetry was a way to turn pain into power. Rosalind has been published in collaborative works, including I Can't Breathe, Social Justice Literary Magazine, and Love Letters to Gaia, an anthology. Her goal is to inspire, motivate, and heal people through the art of poetry. And here she goes.
Take it away, Roz.
Thank you so much. So I'm gonna dive right in here. My first piece is called Mandated Reporter, and it goes like this. Dodging taboos since I exited the womb. See, it took a while for the storm to brew within me. Finally, when it hit, it was too late. Anyone I love was drowning in a sea of FU. What about me? No one saw it coming. But then again, most natural disasters give little to no warning. Drenched in my own mess, I make it to an office where the first thing I'm asked is if I ever feel like harming me. I reply, death is the only thing that's guaranteed. That I had no wishes to expedite the end of my journey. Asked her if she knew who I was. Told her I teach women not to give up. Knew she wasn't an ophthalmologist. Asked her to stare into my eyes to find where the promise is. Told her I am everything but typical, proudly and original. Said I wouldn't make it easy to glide that red pen across the page. She didn't get to write me off that day. Asked, how dare she try to label me? Said, I'm no danger to myself and much less society. Said, all I aim to do is strive. Confessed, I've loved a few men back to life after they signed emotional DNRs. Told her I've placed my healing hands over the nastiest scars and prevailed. I revealed I was a miracle child. I survived dynamics that no one thought I would. Kept pushing like the little engine that knew she could. Genetically, body fights for immunity. Organs, authors of countless suicide notes, alive because of undying hope, to break cycles, to treat life as the best piece I've ever composed. Oh, Doc, it's not over till the divine says end poem. Asked, aren't you proud to be a mandated reporter? That's the first piece. And let me see. The next one I'm going to share with you guys is called She's a Love Language. And it goes like this. Blessed be the hands that navigate her body fearlessly, but even more so the minds that dare get lost in the depths of she. Blessed be the tongues that dare to tango with hers, Cheers to the hearts that soak up the type of love that she offers. She gives herself cautiously because she's full of empathy. Won't give a unless it's genuinely. Don't try to explore out of mere curiosity because she is not made for the cowardly. She is intensity. She is a force. She has also learned to leave behind those not meant to walk the journey alongside her. She is an acquired taste. She learned quickly that she is not for everybody. She is a wild ride. No instructions included, no suggested serving size. The only guarantee is that she is the prize. They don't make 'em like her anymore. That cloth is not sold in stores. Rest assured, it will dress you. Not here to fix you or impress you, just bless you. You will drink her in, no chase her. You won't want to replace her. So long as you don't try to change her, so long as you promise to be one with the wind beneath her wings, not a leash. Let her be. She never had an inside voice, never wanted to be digestible. She had an insatiable desire to be hard to swallow, so only the bravest would get a taste. She will not shrink or coil. She will not let silence spoil her. She's had even gentle hands try to cave her in. But if even caged birds sing, imagine the gift her lungs would bring. If she was loved blindly, without fear of judgment or desire to tame her energy, the best way to love her is purely to indulge in her raw, naked, poetically, mind, body, and soul. Blessed be those who dare to love her whole. So, that was my second one. And if I have time, I'd like to do one more. It's called Jungle Abode, and it goes like this. A dark place where the light made its way in only through the cracks of broken parts, where my lips only knew the taste of salt and damp pillowcases were a familiar place, where the ink of my pen and any space to write in was my safe haven, where trauma enslaved and the walls that held me captive had the names of my predators written in what seemed to be my own blood, with each of their voices whispering, "You're not enough." A place where pain was just as indicative as a pulse that I was still alive. Welcome to my heart. I stitched my eviction notice myself with the bits and pieces of me that people left behind. That's why it took so much time to leave. End poem.
Woo! Roz! Such powerful poems and empowering poems. So lovely, so beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. And I echo what Emily just said. She said too many quotables, can't keep up. Just gonna say Roz is a goddess, and I couldn't agree more.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Everybody got to go out there and get Lady Lotus and, of course, all the other books tonight. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Thank you so much, Raz.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Oh, beautiful pieces.
Holy moly.
Woo! And we have one more poet for you all tonight. You all better get ready to welcome Ashley Edwards. Hey, Ashley.
Last but not least.
Last but not least, we have been rocked all night by all of these incredible poets. And Ashley, we can't wait to hear you. I'm going to introduce you with your bio. Let me scroll to it right now. Doo-doo-doo. Okay, here we go. Ashley is a poet and spoken word artist, originally born in Pittsburgh, but calls herself a Richmond native. She first started writing after the passing of her mother in order to express herself creatively. She hopes to heal with her poetry and inspire others to get creative and tell their story. Her topics range from domestic violence, love and relationships, suicide, and self-love. Take it away, Ashley.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much for having us on here. It's a great opportunity, so definitely appreciate you. My book, it was sweet before it was sour. Also, shout out to Shane Maynor, who designed the cover of my book, but also did a few of the other top or next 10 poets as well. So shout out to her. But basically, concept of my book is just, I realized that as a poet, we kind of write about a lot of like trauma and like sad things. And I was like, now hold on, it's some good stuff that be happening too. So I kind of wanted to have this concept of, you know, like the heartbreak, grief, sad kind of stuff that happens to us, but then also kind of the flip side, you know, where we are in those happy moments and, you know, we're living for life and life is living for us and everything is great. So I'm going to read 3 from each side so you can get a little bit of the sweet, a little bit of the sour. And they're short poems, so I'm not going to take up too much of y'all time. And then I'll let you know how to get the book at the end. And yeah. So, of course, we're going to start on the sweet side. And this is one of my favorite poems in the book. I don't title my poems, by the way, either. So, yeah, this is page 9 if y'all want to get the book and check it out. Monday is the son of a bitch. Invites me back to reality. Tuesday is the day to get everything done that you said you were going to do on Monday. Wednesday, the middle of the week. The day that makes the weekend a lover you've longed for centuries. Thursday is happy hour. Reminds us, even through the chaos, we always have time to sit still and laugh a little. Friday is payday, and I do my money dance on this day. Saturday is the day I go out and pretend to be someone else, pretend that my sorrows do not exist. Sunday is for anxiety. The day before I must do it all over again. If you ask me which one my favorite is, I'll always answer the one where I am still alive. So that is the first one. Second one here in the sweet side. I fell in love with him at 1 a.m, dancing in the kitchen to a song we made up, laughing so much my belly almost tapped out. I thought to myself, what amazing feeling this is, me being uncontrollably myself and him loving me for it anyway. You will know it is right when you don't have to think about being you, you just simply be. All right, and then last one from Sweet Side, and then I'm gonna have to take y'all over to the dark side, the sour side. Okay. Yes, I lived before you, but you have shown me how the wind sings lullabies to the clouds, how the grass holds the morning dew's hand, how the moon and the sun are really just playing freeze tag with each other. I know that I could live without you, but in that world, the wind just howls, the morning dew makes the grass soggy, and the days and nights pass by in the blink of an eye. So that was the sweet for y'all. Soak it up because we're about to get a little dark. Moving on to the sour side of things. Here we go. When he calls you pretty, you melt into 1,000 different directions. When a stranger gives you a compliment, you think about it all day long. So why is it when you tell yourself you're beautiful, you don't believe it? All right, moving on, second to last. When the drugs don't help, the whiskey bottle is empty, and I'm still up thinking about you. I prayed to God to take the hurt away. Lately, it feels like I've been getting his voicemail, and the moon is his receptionist that never takes a message, and the sun is the janitor trying to clean up the mess, but I am a big mess to clean, which is why I think you left me here, spilt everywhere in the first place. And then one more from Sour, and then I'll tell you guys how you can get the book. Even after all these years, you could call me and I'd come running. That is the power of love. It defies time, sanity. Love is and forever will be the most powerful drug on this earth. Some of us are high right now. Others have overdosed. And some wait for their next fix. I count the seconds until I'm sober again. So those are a few pieces from the book. It was sweet before it was sour. You guys can just message me on Facebook or Instagram. Facebook is just Ashley Edwards. Instagram, it's _Melange, which is MILANGE. And I'll post it in probably the Facebook comments for those watching. But yeah.
Woo! Ashley! Absolutely awesome. I loved all of those poems, and I loved the sweet and the sour. And it was such a treat to start with the sweet, because you're so right. So often we're talking about trauma in these important, very, very important poems, but the sweet stuff is just as important, and so wonderful to hear. Just really, really beautiful poems you share with us tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
And absolutely gorgeous book. Everybody get out there and get Emily's book and everyone else's.
That's right.
Thanks, Emily. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Ashley. I'm like reading Emily's comments out of the corner of my eye.
There's a lot of names
So much,
tonight.
Ashley
A lot
Edwards.
of names tonight.
Yeah.
And there's some themes, as usual, there's themes going on here. There's a lot of people dealing with grief and lost loved ones, and turning to poetry for that, and
coping with the pandemic, discovering like the incredible poetry communities through it.
Dealing with lots of loss and crazy times.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right, Chris. I feel like we got a look into all of these 10 poets' lives, into their books. Each one of them only had 5 to 7 minutes, but I feel like we got into whole worlds of these people, and we have to invite them back. We simply have to.
Absolutely. And we'll give them a little more time too.
Yes, we must invite these guys back as features. Once again, tonight we heard from Generalissimo, Brian Franco, Miro, Gigi, Phillip, Boykin, Wordsmith Philly, Tori Lutz, Emily Cortez, Raz Diaz, and Ashley Edwards. You can get all of their books, including Pam Rice, who was under the weather today. You can get all of their books at Red or Green Books, and follow them on social media. They are very active, and they have so many other projects also going on. Please catch up with all these incredible poets. Thank you so much for watching this evening. What do we have next Sunday night, Chris?
Next Sunday we have Janet Luongo, and we have FUMFA's own Ellen Gelman.
Awesome. Thank you again to all the poets. Thank you to our audience for watching. And it was just such an incredible night, wasn't it, Chris? Thanks to you, Chris.
Almost
Thank you.
overwhelming. Thanks to you, Katie.
Oh, well, thank you. What an incredible night. We'll see you all on social media, and we'll see you all next Sunday night. Have a good night and stay warm, everybody. See you.